Okay, tonight I'm doing something a little bit different. It's a love working, but I'm tackling it from a few different angles. Uh, the client, she wants to be reunited with an ex-partner. So we're going into the Goetia, and I have already petitioned Sallos, Sitri, and Dantalion. I have their seals here. I printed off two, and I had a hand draw one, but it doesn't matter. I actually prefer to hand, draw them out, because I can, chant the N in my head, and I can make the petition, etc. To me, it's a bit more personal when you actually do the sigil with a pen. It might not look like much, but it's still, it's still their direct line number, if that makes sense. So I'm using these little white candles for I've been doing a petition with Santissima Muerte, and at that point I will be incorporating red candles. But for this, I want it to be I want them to be reunited. Of course, Sitri is all about lust, and Sitri is a lust demon. And at the end of the day, I could be using red candles, but for now, I just want to use white ones, and then I'll bring the red candles, etc., into because this is going to go on for probably about a month. So it won't be just white candles. I'll do a run of the white ones, for like cleansing, etc. And then I'll do a run of maybe red candles, and then maybe orange candles for a bit of road opening. So you need to be careful with these. I normally slide these 3 candles because I always work in triangles, and there's 3 spirits, so a candle each. Okay, and we're building up a little sweetening jar, a little honey jar. So I place these under the table when I'm under the plate. Sorry, when I'm actually burning the candles because of the fire hazard, etc. So please bear that in mind. Alrighty. Now I want to cover. I know I always do this. It probably bores you, but the reasoning for calling these spirits forward. Right, Dantalion. So Dantalion's color is green. I could offer Dantalion a green candle down the line, so that's always something I could do. The incense is sandalwood, the metal is copper. The planet is Venus, and the element is water, and the N is Avesh, Ayar, Dantalion, Onsa. I've probably butchered that, I don't know, but it works. The original purpose: teaches all arts and sciences, and has the ability to show you the thoughts of others and to sway the thoughts of others. She can also cause love. That is the reason why I'm calling forth Dantalion. And then the author makes some notes. So this is Demonology Goetia by S. Connolly. I really like the book. I've been, working with this book for quite a few years. She goes on to say, helps one relate with others on an emotional level, teaches emotional intelligence, and heightens empathy for others. So that is the reason why we're calling Dantalion. Okay. Always takes me a minute or two to get through these books, so just one moment. Ideally, I'd like to work with a lot of the more obscure spirits. It's just finding the time to do that, so that's something that I really want to do. Oh, where are we? There's Sallos. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so Sallos, again, color is green, incense is sandalwood, and the metal is copper. The planet is Venus, so we've got 2 Venusian spirits, very good for love. Element is earth, and the N is Serena, Alora, Sallos, Akin. Original purpose: Sallos is invoked to cause men to love women and women to love men. And the author goes on to say, comparable to Rossier in the Ducante hierarchy, Sallos can be invoked during marriage ceremonies. So, nice one. And then we're moving on to Sitri. So Sitri's color is blue. Incense is cedar. Metal is tin. Planet is Jupiter. Element is earth. And the N is lyric, allura, viva, Sitri. And the original purpose is Sitri is a lust demon and causes men and women to be passionate and get naked around one another. And then the author goes on to say, invoke Sitri for seduction rituals. Become an incubi or succubi. Invoke Sitri during sex magic to boost the energy raised. Sitri can also be called up when you seek to infuse any creative project with passion. I saw Sitri as feminine and fire. I don't see Sitri, in my mind's eyes. I get, flashes of the spirits sometimes, and I don't see Sitri as a female. I see Sitri as a male. To me, it's a male energy, but everyone is really different, and your interpretation may be different from my interpretation. So it's just to let you know that I get a lot of people lately on the channel. I'm digressing a little bit. In the comments section, and they say, you're doing that wrong. And at the end of the day, everyone is so different, and your own magic is personal to you, if that makes sense. I'm a great believer, because I'm more like chaos, if that makes sense, that chaos magic, I don't stick to any paradigm, if that makes sense, and I like to incorporate bits and pieces of that. A lot of people are against that, but that's what has been working for me for a long time, and I like to do this, and it works for me. So I'm just going to leave it there. So I've got the petition from the client. She sent me a petition, and if you've got photographs, place the 2 photographs face to face with some honey, and if you have oils, use some oils. I used on the guy's photograph, or on the guy's name and things like that, I used some control oil. Some come to me, some love me, stay with me oil, a bit of chamomile to diffuse the situation, because there is a bit of what's the word? There's just a little bit of I'm not sure friction is the right word, but we want to loosen him up a bit. So that's why I used chamomile, or you could use lavender. Anyway, I'm going to pop this in here. Also, I looked at a few cards. I like to do this at the beginning of some workings or at the end, but just wanted to see get a feel for how things are at the moment. So I can't put the cards down. So this is the pathways. That's about a decision to do with happiness, with regards to matters of the heart. Is coming with regards to settling down, commitment. So that's 5 really good cards that I pulled out. And those were the first 5 cards. So I need to say there are many, many, many different adjacent possibilities when you do magic. We want this guy back into the woman's life. So, we have to be positive. We have to, for the client, I like clients to visualize in their mind's eye things coming together, all that. So to me, that plays a massive part in things. It's a lot more than just you do the spell, you put it to bed, and that's it. To me, that you need a positive mind frame. A lot of people are very, very confused as to how magic actually works, and it's up to me to be making a video on this channel to put down a few guidelines. If you're coming to me for work, what to take on board before you come to me. And I think this is not just for the client, this is for a lot of people, especially lately. I've been getting people who think that it's just like a one-hit wonder. You do the spell and next week you get the results, or even the next day. I've had a few people thinking that the next day you get the results. Sometimes it takes a few different approaches. Sometimes it takes a few tries. That's just how it is. So I need to make that very, very clear. A lot of people think that magic is guaranteed, and I'm getting to the point where you really need to use common sense. guaranteed is something that, I mean, if this was guaranteed, you know, my bank balance would be, you know, there'd be so many millions in it, and I'd be married to an actor like, I don't know, Brad Pitt or someone. You know, my life wouldn't be the way it is. Oh, yeah, I live a nice lifestyle. You know, I'm happy, you know, but at the end of the day, please use common sense that there are so many things that you can do with magic. You know, it covers a lot of things, but I can't guarantee work. And I had someone the other day, and this is the last thing I want to say. I had someone the other day, and she said to me, "Can you bring your fee down? Because, you know, I don't know if this is going to work." And, you know, I thought to myself, is she having a laugh? You know, because at the end of the day, I mean, I'm using materials. I'm using, you know, oil. I'm using honey. I'm using candles. A lot of the time I'm using skull candles, which are really expensive, and I actually make them, which, you know, and it's also my time away from my family. It's, you know, a lot of the time I'm sitting up to 3 a.m. onwards doing these workings. It's just crazy to say, you know, can you reduce your price because it might not work. I will leave it there. Okay. So I have asked the three, and I will be doing a separate video with regards to Santissimo Muerte. An in-depth video of that will be coming up this week. So one for this client, and then there'll be one for another client coming up this week. One will be for love, and one will be for very much the lost aspect. So, right, I'm going to pour in some honey into this whilst visualizing the two of them together. So it's always important to see in your mind's eye, make little statements of intent, very positive statements of intent, of course. The things are going to work out, things are coming together, it's all going to be fine. He's going to think of her constantly, day and night. Whoops, there's a chunk come out. It's all about her. She will be in his dreams. She will be on his mind 24/7. It's all about her. He's starting to realize that he's made a mistake. He wants to be with her. You know, you need to make statements like that. When this is shut down and stuff, and I'm left alone with these candles, that is what I do. I make statements of intent, and I make the statements of intent in the now, if that makes sense. Not in the, what's it called? Not in the past, if you know what I mean. I make the statements of intent as if we're experiencing it now. Basically, I would say along the lines of, we are in love, we're together, we're emotionally, physically, and spiritually connected. We're very happy together, you know. Or I never say the word want, if that makes sense. I hope I'm not going into too much detail. I need to hurry this along. So that's important. You need to me anyway, you need to make the statements of intent to be in here and the now. You know, to me that causes a shift on the astral plane. Okay, I need to stop talking. Okay, I'm going to put in a little bit of cinnamon stick. This is good for lust. Okay. A little bit of confetti, because at the end of the day, what we want is commitment. I mean, you don't have to use that if you think it's naff, but I like it. That stay with me oil. Okay. So we want to put in some church dirt. Whoops. From around the outside of a church. Peace powder, If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Some rush oil. Come on. Excuse me. Okay, let's see, a bit of convince oil, because we want to convince him to her way of thinking. A little bit of rose water. Top it up with some syrup. Syrup runs nice and smooth and fast, so it's a nice combination, the honey and the syrup. Again, you know, you don't have to do this, just go with whatever you have. Brown sugar. Okay, so we want to get some protection in here as well to protect that relationship, because you just don't know. Someone could be working on it. That's Wall of Fire. And I've got some anti-evil eye and road opener, just to be sure. So, like I said before, the spirits called forward will get a candle, and I'm going to make some offerings as well. You know, you can give them whatever you have, like alcohol's good, chocolate, sweets, food of any sort, you know, just whatever you have. I find that it works well. Let's see. There's a little bit come to me oil. Where else? One moment, please. I've lost my Follow Me Boy powder. 1 second. Okay, so I have some mixed with some rose petals, and I have a little bit of orris root in there, and a little bit of calamus. That's to give things a bit of a push on his side. Calamus root and orris root is very good for bending over, if that makes sense, to bend the situation to your will. And that's really it. I don't want to overload it, but that's what we've got. So I'm going to blow into it. I always do this. To me, it brings the jar to life. And then I pop a lid on it. So I will light these 3 candles, and I will burn a red one or else a pink one, whatever I've got here on top of this. Like I said, I'll monitor these candles. I'll probably sit with them for about 15 or 20 minutes per night as they burn down, and then I'll do another run of them. But I have to say, please, 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 never leave candles on their own, especially when you have paper seals around. You know, I'm just saying, I have to cover myself that way. So, like, share, subscribe. If you have anything to say, leave it in the comments section, and I'll get back to you all as soon as I can. I keep planning a go live. There's been so much, you know, has cropped up. I've been very busy, but I will do a go live very soon. It's on the cards, so I will get that done. I'm sorry these videos drag on a bit. You know, I'm sure a lot of you find them too long and stuff. But what was I going to say? So yeah, this week I will, or maybe it will come. I don't know sometimes when these videos will go out, but I know after this one I have a Holy Death working. So we're working with a Holy Death for love and lust. So that will go up this week, and yeah, I'd like to go through, like I said before, I'd like to go through the Goetia book and, work with some of the spirits there. I should say as well, and I can't say too much because client confidentiality, but this money spell that I did a while ago, calling forth colonic, the client, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, the client has been offered a job. So that happened very quickly, so I'm very impressed. Colonic works really well. I work with Colonic a lot, and he does work really well. So just now that's in my head, I thought I'd mention it. So it's thehouseofmagick@gmail.com, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Have a good evening.